यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा श्रील प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय 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 विष्णुपाद परमहंस Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada की जय जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय मथुरा धाम की जय गंगा मई की जय जमुना मई की जय श्रीमती तुलसी देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल all glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to assembled devotees Hare Krishna All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namo Vishnu Krishna Bhutli Shwati Gopal Krishna Namni Prabhupada Sasayata Prakasayata Sapajana Kusada. Namo Vishnu Krishna Bhutli Shwati Ansati Sasayata Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jivasya samsarato vimokshanaya. Jivasya samsarato vimokshanam. Na janato anarthavacha charirata. Leelavatare swatsasa pradipakam. Prajvalyata tam aham prapadye. Jivasya samsarato vimokshanam. Na janato anarthavacha charirata. Leelavatare swatyasa padipatkam. Prajvalyat tam aham prapadye. Jivasya samsarato vimokshanam. Na janato anarthavacha charita. Leelavatare swayasa pradipakam. Prajvalyata tam aham prapadye. Jivasya jasya samsarato vimokshanam. Jivasya anarthavacha charirata. Charita. Word for word meanings. Jivasya, for the conditioned living being. Ya, he, the Supreme Lord, who samsarata, the conditioned soul, caught in the cycle of birth and death. Vimokshanam, liberation. Najanata, not knowing. Anartha, unwanted things. Vahat, which brings. Sharirata, from the material body. Leela, for pastimes. Avtarai, by his appearances in this world. Swa, his own. Yasa, fame. Pradipakam, the torch. Prajvalayat, made to blaze. Twa, you. Tam, that Lord. Aham, I. Prapadye, approach for shelter. Translation and purport with disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. The living being caught in the cycle of birth and death does not know how he can be delivered from the material body, which brings him so much trouble. But you, the Supreme Lord, descend to this world in various personal forms, and by performing your pastimes, you illumine the soul's path with blazing torch of your fame. Therefore, I surrender unto you. Please repeat. The living being caught in the cycle of birth and death does not know how he can be delivered from the material body, which brings him so much trouble. But you, the Supreme Lord, descend to this world in various personal forms, and by performing your pastimes, you illumine the soul's path with the blazing torch of your fame. Therefore, I surrender unto you. Srila Prabhupada writes, Narada said, in the bodily concept of existence, everyone is driven by material desires, and thus everyone develops new material bodies, one after another in the cycle of birth and death. Being absorbed in such a concept of existence, one does not know how to get out of the encagement of the material body. Out of your causeless mercy, my Lord, you descend to exhibit your different transcendental pastimes, which are illuminating and full of glory. Therefore, I have no alternative but to offer my respectful obeisances unto you. My dear Lord, you are the Supreme Param Brahman, and your pastimes as an ordinary human are another tactical resource, exactly like a play on the stage in which the actor plays parts different from his own identity. Om Jnana Trivandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshuranmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Madhuvistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Tadhamayam Tadati Padantikam. Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhyavacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Swami Iti Namine Prabhupadasya Sahitam Prakasya Vitasya Chapacharam Kartam Sadhu Bhagavad Namo Shivaya Krishna Bhutashya Vite Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pacharnini Vishis Sunyadi Paschati. So, Jivasya Samsarato Vimokshana Na Janato Anartha Vacha Charitrarata Lilavatare Swayasham Pradipakam Prajvalayat Tam Aham Prapadye. So the living being caught in the cycle of birth and death does not know how he can be delivered from the material world, which brings him so much trouble. But you, the Supreme Lord, descend to this world in various personal forms, and by performing your pastimes, you illuminate the soul's path, which is blazing torch of your fame, with the blazing torch of your fame. Therefore, I surrender unto you. So, in this verse, Srila Prabhupada or Sukadeva Goswami focuses on, actually Prabhupada in his purport, he focuses on the Lord's tactical resource of appearing as a human and on his fame that acts as a blazing torch which delivers the conditioned soul. The living, when you look at it, basically kind of 4 key themes emerge from this verse to me. And that's the living entity, the conditioned soul, which is in the conditioned state, caught in this cycle of birth and death, and is bewildered, so bewildered by the material body that has no idea how to be delivered from this whole trouble. And then the next theme that emerges is that the Lord descends. Why does he descend? He descends out of his causeless mercy. He takes various personal forms as various avatars to perform pastimes. Then he acts as a human, basically a theater, a play that he is totally relishing. His appearance is described as an actor, different parts from his true identity, which Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita as well, that he appears in this form. But but he remains, even though he is in this human form, he remains the supreme Param Brahman, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then by his pastimes, his fame, his yash, he illumines our path, the soul's path, providing the knowledge needed to escape this cage that we take birth in, and show us the path to get out of the soul's path. Souls get out of this material cage, this body, and attain our true state, which is in love for Krishna. So I thought maybe it's a good idea to just maybe look at some of the pastimes of Krishna and see, how each of the pastimes is illuminating our way. There are, of course, millions of pastimes of Krishna, but maybe we can talk about a few of them, starting with our favorite that even last night Amrendra Prabhu talked about, was the Damodar Leela. He talked about the fact that that's the only Leela that it's got its own Ashtakam. It's got its own month, and it is all focused on Yashoda Maya. So it was like, wow, okay, that's what I was going to talk about, and he kind of reiterated that fact. The pastime where Krishna allows himself to be tied up to a mortar by Mother Yashoda. But he only does that when Mother Yashoda shows her full effort and love and surrender. The Lord cannot be bound by just anything. He's only captured by bhakti, devotional service, which develops the love for him. Without the devotional service, we cannot develop a love for him. Unless, of course, we're Yashoda Maya, who's always in love with him. We cannot get that bhakti without following the path of humility and a sincere effort and surrender. And so we get that from Yashoda Maya here in this pastime. It doesn't just happen. She could have gone on running after him with a stick. And probably collapsed from exhaustion. But because of her love and because of her sincerity and because of her surrender, Krishna looks at her and he slowly relents, gives up. But only because Yashoda Maya, with all that love. Not because she had knowledge of him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then in the pastime of Kaliya, the Kaliya Daman, where Krishna dances on the serpent Kaliya. Krishna he subdues this really, really venomous snake, serpent Kaliya, he was poisoning Yamuna, poisoning the water that Raju was dependent on. And killing the occupants, the residents. And our acharyas tell us that that pastime of Kaliya represents conquering the internal enemies that we have. The enemies like pride and ego. And then when we surrender our poisonous nature, when we give that up, we give up our pride and ego to Krishna, he purifies our heart. Cheto darpan marjana. By continuous chanting. Cleanse our heart. Purifies our heart and then grants us the freedom from this conditioned life. Then in the Govardhan Leela, where Krishna, to protect Vraja, lifts this huge, massive Govardhan hill on his little finger to protect his devotees from this massive torrential rain. Krishna showed us that he is really our ultimate protector. There's nothing that can protect us from any catastrophe, whether it's material or spiritual. We get spiritual catastrophe in this material world constantly. It's only Krishna, of course, through his pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, who protect us from that disaster. He illuminates our path. The path of total dependence on Krishna is what makes us realize that we cannot rely on any of the external material powers or the demigods, including some of the most powerful ones like Indra. So there are other passive, like stealing of the gopis' clothes, which it's considered, in the material sense, it's considered almost unchaste in a lot of ways. But again, our acharyas have shown us the purity of it and how that lila symbolizes shedding of our false identity, giving up our false identity. And the fact is that in order to approach the Lord, we must be totally transparent. Our soul must be visible, must be transparent. And we should have abandoned all material attachments, pride, ego. So all of that is like shedding those, giving up those clothes, material. Last night, Amrendra Prabhu was talking about the fact that how there is philosophy and there is Leela. People think, well, everybody thinks, well, there's philosophy and there's Leela. And that we shouldn't just focus on Leela, we should focus on philosophy. We shouldn't just focus on philosophy, we should focus on Leela. But he talked about the fact that philosophy is Leela. He's talking about the Bhagavad Gita. He's talking about how we should really read Bhagavad Gita. If you read Bhagavad Gita as just pure knowledge, you probably won't get as much out of it as we would when we read Bhagavad Gita as a Leela. And that's what it is. It's a pastime of Krishna, his interaction with his friend Arjuna. It's totally about Leela. And if we look at it as Leela, then we can gain so much more, because like in this verse, Leela is what illuminates our path. So by reading, by understanding Krishna's Leelas, we can get there. In Putana's pastimes, where Krishna liberates the demoness, despite her evil intent to poison him, he gave the demoness the position of mother in the spiritual world. It highlights for us the unlimited compassion that the Lord has. It shows us that even the most fallen of us have hope. We can be delivered as we come in contact with him, as we serve him. The reason she got mother status is because she served him as a mother. Even though it was with the wrong intent, she still served him as a mother. So she got his compassion, his mercy. So there's hope for every one of us. In Agasur Leela, where Krishna's friends were swallowed by this huge giant snake, and their consciousness was momentarily lost, which represents the bewilderment of this sinful life. And then Krishna's entry and his expansion to kill the demon restored his friend's consciousness. That's how Krishna, by entering our lives or being in our life, can revive our original identity, our spiritual nature, our soul's spiritual nature. In Amrit Prabhu was talking about the creation. When we read Bhagavatam, there is Leelas and there are philosophy. And there's a lot of philosophy in there. So it talks about his creation, philosophy, or is that Leela? We tend to read it as philosophy, but it really is Leela. It's Krishna's pastime. And when we see that as Krishna's pastime, we tend to see it as, well, Mahavishnu is breathing, there's creation of various universes and planets and everything. But we forget, or at least I do, tend to forget, there's really Krishna Leela in every step of this way. So that was very, very, I should say, I guess, eye-opening, even though I was going to speak the same things, but there was this aspect of it that came up, that came from his class last night, was like, oh, I mean, I wasn't going to talk about Bhagavad Gita and creation as a Leela, but it was like I was talking about all these specific pastimes. But then, from that class, it was like, oh, Bhagavad Gita as a pastime, creation as a pastime. So, from all of these Leelas, we gain a realization, or we could if we actually thought about it and learned from those and followed the purports and the tikas and the Prabhupada's purports and his explanations, everything, we would realize that this is really Krishna guiding us to our ultimate goal. So he's got all these pastimes. He's acting here. He's not acting as himself. He is the Supreme Brahma. But he is playing the role of human. And this is like being on a stage where he's playing a part which is different from his own identity. And Srila Prabhupada kind of talks about it as, in the 10th canto, earlier verses, 23, 22, he talks about how when Krishna enters the forests of Vrindavan, dressed like a dramatic actor, Natavat. And it's like, just like Prabhupada explains that, just like the actor does not become the character he portrays, Krishna never becomes a mundane human being subject to the laws of karma. He still remains the supreme controller. He exhibits human-like weaknesses or activities, but that is all to attract us, the fallen souls. And Krishna, I'm sorry, in spite of this, the Muras, the fools, so or a lot of people, I should say, maybe we a little bit less because of the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. But the world think of him as an ordinary man. He lets people get fooled while he's still guiding, he's illuminating the path. And Prabhupada talks about how Amura is not just an ignorant person, but he's grossly foolish, who, in spite of having the capacity, human capacity for spiritual inquiry, spiritual journey, chooses to remain on the animal platform. It's so easy in this material world to stay on the animal platform. It may be in fancy cars and fancy houses, but it's still fancy jobs, billions of dollars, still an animal-like condition. And we are just so fortunate that every step of the way, Srimad Bhagavatam directs us, gives us the way. And Srila Prabhupada has made it so easy. Like Prabhupada says, don't try to understand God through your tiny brain. He's like the sun, and we cannot see him by our eyes. So we need to just see him through Shastra Chakshushu, through our Srila Prabhupada. And one of these days we'll get there. Thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Chief Jago, Chief Jago, Gorachan Pole. 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 Buddha Lindra, Yamaya, Pisa Chiracole. Bajiva, Balia Ese, Samsara, Pita Reggae. Moji Bapani I say Samsara Bita Ray Bulia Ro he led to me Abidjagara Ray Bulia Ro he led to me. Tumare laite hame oinu avachara ami pina banuara ke ache tumara. Ele che sole maya nasi bara la che Harinama ma mantra la utu me magi. Now to me magi Bakati vino the bravo Jarane putweya Say Harinama mantra Loi la go makia say Harinama mantra Loi la makia Chief Jago Chief Jago Gorajana mo Legi Kotanedra Yao Maya Pisa Chiracole. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sati Gaurmata Brenda Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jaya Shri Krishna Dena Paponetjananta, Giatueta, Gana, Siva Sade, Normatu Brenda, Krishna, Chaitanya, Paponetjananta. Joy Shri Krishna Nana Prabodhajananda Jia Dvaita Gada Siva Sade Gaurmata Brenda Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, looking none of that, looking none of that, Nyarad, Hagulukin Nanadrak, Hagulukin Nanadrak, Nyarad, hey, Rad, hey, Rad, hey, Nyarad, hey. Rate, 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 Jayarate, 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 Jayasri Ragade, Jai Om Vishnu Pad, Paramaham Sa Pad,
Lord Gaurachandra is calling, wake up, sleeping souls, wake up, sleeping souls. How long will you sleep in the lap of the witch called Maya? You have forgotten the way of devotional service and are lost in the cycle of birth and death. I have descended just to save you. I am your only true friend. Other than me, what friend do you have? I have brought the medicine that will wipe out the disease of illusion from which you suffer. Take this great chant for deliverance, the Maha Mantra, the names of Hari. Lord Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur, falling at the Lord's lotus feet, takes shelter of the Harinam Mantra, the Lord's holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. Thank you for dressing. Vardhanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smarane Nakala Etadrishita Vagriba Bhagavan Mamapi Dordaiva Midrishami Hajjanina Anuraga Trinada Pi Sunichena Charora Pi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Hoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripaya Tavapada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajashim Vachintaya Nainam Gladashru Daraya Vadanam Gad Gadru Dayagira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Bravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishyava Padamratam Banastumam Adarshanam Marma Hatakarotuva Yatatatava Vidadatulam Bato. Thank you. Natastusa Evanapara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life